Control Alt No Man's Sky. Virtual reality. SS April PVD.
And Gwen Higgins, you wake up on the planet.
I am on that planet. And I just love this game. And I hope you will feel the same. Hello and welcome to Control Alt WoW No Man's Sky. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, and this is episode 863 entitled Happy Birthday, Aprillian. I'm April PVD, and today I'm with Big G discussing No Man's Sky and all things virtual reality. Hey Big G, how are you?
I'm going well, and once again, happy birthday.
Thank you. It is my 64th birthday. Oh man, if we had done an episode last week, this would have been episode 864. That would have been weird. But I'm happy to be here. And I said Aprillian in the title because that's what I used to be. I'm now April PVD, but we have done a few segments with happy birthday to Aprillian. And I have to say that one of the things that has made me get to 64 has been virtual reality. Now, you say you have tried it, but you don't have a headset, right?
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah.
I'm intending to get one later this year. Once fact check soon enough. So I may join you in the skies and No Man's Sky.
Yes, that would be great. It has been, I want to talk a few things before we get into No Man's Sky. One of the things that's really interesting, one thing that happened this week, a lot of VR has been shutting down. It's a whole controversy. Part of the problem was with Meta oversaturating the VR stratosphere by, undercutting prices and supposedly supporting some company or some, providers of software for the headset. But at the same time, almost, I don't want to call it a welfare thing, but almost like making it harder for other people to compete in the same industry. So if you weren't getting money from Meta and you wanted to put out a certain game or something, you had a harder time because it cost you what it normally would cost without the support, if that makes sense. So a lot of companies couldn't compete in this industry. So we're hoping when the fallout settles that more industry will be able to compete in the metaverse. And it's one of the first properties that I was introduced when I got my first headset was Rec Room. And shoot, it was fun. It was a novel approach. It was what I always thought the metaverse should be. And it's interesting because I'm in a book club, and the book club just recently read Neuromancer, which was one of the first books to talk about the metaverse and talk about what it would be like to be in the net. Have you ever read Neuromancer?
Well, not off the top of my head, but
Okay.
I have read many in that series, genre, internet before internet was a thing.
Right. Now, what I wanted the metaverse to be would be a lot like the Matrix, where you would go in and then you would be doing stuff in this other universe, and you could have a home, you could have friends, you could have, even a job. or something, and it's never come to play that way. But Rec Room was as close to it as it could be because it had had games, which of course, unfortunately, a lot of the VR mindset is shoot 'em up games when it's really nice to just build things. I would like a cross between the games and the Sims, which would be nice, I'm almost wishing could be like Second Life. Now, have you heard about Second Life?
Yep. But basically what you're describing is very much like the universe set up in Ready Player One.
Yes.
Where people have jobs and work and...
Yes, and that was the thing with Second Life, although it was on the flat screen. Somebody could buy a chunk of land in VR and then rent it out, and I actually, when I was in Second Life, I was making these Wiccan devices where you could do Wiccan rituals and stuff, and I could apply certain things, certain motions that would make your character do things, and then you could sell stuff. There was a vast industry. There were interesting things. There were people who would make clothes. There was even a simulation of getting pregnant and being pregnant and then having a baby, and you could buy a nursery and stuff. But the biggest industry was making houses, and I paid someone to actually make this beautiful stone castle for me. It was circular. The doors would work. It was amazing. But unfortunately, that's not what we have right now. Maybe one day, maybe it will happen. But let's get into what I've been doing in No Man's Sky. Oh, before we do that, let's give a big shout out to Grand Negus. We were trying to set up and work with and record with him, but his ISP is having trouble. We rebooted, and he still was not able to connect properly. He kept getting lag. So we're going to try to do Ctrl Alt WoW Final Fantasy 14 maybe tomorrow or next week. But yeah, shout out to Grand Negus. But for me in No Man's Sky, now I've got 2 weeks worth of stuff. If you want to see the details, I got a step by step of everything I did in the show notes at controlaltwow.com. But I did so many stuff. I changed homes. I had Aprillian had a home with the biodome. Now, I have the 4 characters. In fact, I should probably put that in the show notes. I have Aprillian, April, Sebastian, and my main April PVD. So what I want to do is, and what I've been doing is building these houses for each of my characters together on the land, near the land that April PVD has a house in. It seemed very silly, but I wanted a whole neighborhood where each one of them had a home. And the thing that's brilliant about this, and I didn't even realize it at the time, is that I end up with a neighborhood, but because each of my characters are providing their own stuff, I'm not having to worry about running out of the piece limit. There's so many pieces you can have on a character in a base at one time, and I think there's even a limit of how many you can have overall. So by having each one of these characters have a separate, bring their own in, it turns out much better. So what just started off as me wanting to give everybody, their own neighborhood actually has a benefit. But on this was Wednesday a couple of weeks ago, I also got my new head strap. So I was talking about the fact that the Bobo VR I was using was creating these dents in my head. And so
Which is always effective.
it had these little paddings on the top. These little, and I guess that was the whole idea was to bring it off of your cheek. Well, I had switched to another brand, and it didn't have the things on top, and it worked great, but it only came with one battery, and there wasn't even a way to order another one. So I looked into Bobo VR, and I dipped into my fund savings because I just wanted to make sure that, I wasn't damaging my head. And so I got the Bobo VR SP Pro, I think it's called. And when I first opened it up, it had the antennas on it, and I thought I made a mistake. And I was getting ready to return it, but I looked into it a little more and found out that the antennas were removable. It does have a fan, but the fan seems to sometimes mess up things like the sound from my AirPods, and I think it would decrease the batteries. But the good thing about this is I ordered an extra battery. All right, so Thursday I worked out on VR because I work out on VR every Thursday, Saturday, and Mondays. But while I'm working out, particularly when I'm boxing, I get some really good ideas. And I got one that's so crazy. Oh, that's when I decided to bring all the cities together. And that really worked. So if you look at the pictures in the show notes, you'll see all the housings side by side. And I just had a lot of fun bringing everybody together. I had to then move stuff around because April PVD had her batteries and solar panels on one side. I had to move those underneath. I've just been spending the last week just fine-tuning all the builds and getting the landing pads, and it just turned out so beautiful. The only thing that's kind of frustrating me, and I don't know, they say that there's going to be a fix real soon about multiplaying, and I think this is weird because when I'm on one person, I sometimes can't see the other three houses. So what I have to do is boot up Steam on another computer and bring in another person so I can see their house. I don't know why this happens because I have uploaded all the houses to the servers. Plus, I can go to other people's bases and see their base. Maybe it has something to do with all of us being on the same ISP. I don't know. It's just weird. If anybody knows why I can't see my other houses, I'm hoping, like somebody said that there's supposed to be another update in April that's supposed to fix multiplaying because they are working on Light No Fires, their new IP, and that's supposed to be a big multiplayer thing. But because I have 3 copies of No Man's Sky, because I got a 3rd copy when it went on sale a couple of months ago, I can actually bring a couple of them in. And so I've been having a good time moving everybody. If you look in the pictures, it's really beautiful. And so I've gotten the houses. They're all distinct, and I got all 4 houses next to each other. And I'm just having a blast with that. It's working out pretty well. I wondered if it had something to do with us not being friends. So I made sure that we were all friends, and that still didn't make a difference. But so I'm just dealing with the difficulties of going back, not being able to see somebody's house or having to pull them up and then log that person out and then pulling somebody else out while I'm in VR. But I'm having a blast. If you look at the pictures in the show notes, you'll see that it's beautiful. I'm making these beautiful homes, and it's just a lot of fun. But now I'm into the big fun, which is making the bedrooms and making the details in the house. Now, I talk about in the show notes about the I'm making like a boardwalk, because when April PVD first moved into this area, and the reason why I'm staying where I am, because it's a paradise planet. It's a beautiful view. Now, there has been some talk in No Man's Sky that you never want to flatten the area or do any kind of big transformation, because the land will just grow back. But April PVD had done some really big burying. She had put some houses underwater before, and that damage is still there. So I don't know what the time limit is on the damage, but she did that last year. But I'm working over that. If you look at this one picture that with all the names in it, and it shows how everybody is situated, and with all 4 houses in it. April's house is a little smaller, but Aprillian's is beautiful. And now I'm just working on the interiors. But I did take a break on the housing, and I got Aprillian out. But I want her to have one of the Atlantid multi-tools. And, the basic that I've been doing, I got the 4 characters, but April PVD is the only one that has gone through all the quest lines. She's got the autophage settlement. She's got the ability to get the Atlantid multi-tools. So, I'm and Aprillian is the next one that has gone further in the quest line. So she's going to be the next one that I'm moving up. But we spent some time working on all the housing. If you scroll down to some of the pictures, you'll see the bedrooms I've made for Aprillian. I made little dressers. And it takes some finessing, because we don't exactly have dressers, but we have these boxes and we have these shelves, and you can shrink and grow them into making it look like they're dressers. And then there are things that we have that I can shrink, like there's little bottles that I made from the taps and just the different things. And I'm really, really pleased at how it's turned out. Now, if we get into this past Friday, I did take Aprillian out to work on the Atlas quest, and she had to fight some sentinels. She had to go to different monuments, and she had to activate a portal, and she did the Atlas quest. Sorry if this is spoilers for anybody, but she had to go through the portal, end up on the other side, and repair her damaged ship and everything. And she's getting there. The quest line is beautiful. No Man's Sky has done a really good job on making that quest line. So on Saturday, while I was working out, I got another idea. And this week, I'm going to be working on fixing up all the homes. And then I'm going to be doing a YouTube kind of tour. You know how you see those YouTube videos where they take you through some houses?
Yeah, very much so. Like Rate My Crib, or what was it? From MTV, I think it was, that they did the
Right,
Rate My
something
Crib or
like
something
that.
like that.
Or the people that go looking, they like apartment shopping in a different city. Or there's one that I really like where they show all these penthouses or these like $12 million condos or apartments in New York City. So I'm going to do some of those tours once I get it set up. I finally got Sebastian. If you go to the show notes at Ctrl.com, I got Sebastian set up with a loft and a conference room. And I really like all the things I've made. And I've gotten his kitchen set up. You know, you have to use different things. And he's got a dining nook. And then for Aprillian, I made a little living room and a cute kitchen and a really cute dining room. And I'm just having a lot of fun doing all these things. So I also did some more with Aprillian on that quest line. And it's just coming out real well. So I'm really excited about that. And you know, I'm inspired by Grand Nagus and all his work on Final Fantasy XIV and getting their home together. So this has been fun. And that's about what I've been doing in No Man's Sky. But I have been doing some other stuff. First of all, I was invited to Horizon World event. You know, that's another part of the whole metaverse, and people had made a lot of really good stuff in Horizon World. People have made fancy homes. There's this one guy I know that was making yachts. You had to take a boat out to the yacht, and the yacht even had a helicopter landing pad, and you could take a helicopter around his world to see different things. And it was kind of sad because they were going to shut it down, but they did a reversal, and they're going to keep those worlds open. You just won't be able to make new stuff, which is still kind of nice. They're focusing on the mobile phone industry. So somebody I followed on Instagram, because she was a VR person, Meta Social, she invited me to her event, and it was really nice. We just sat around and we talked about things. It was almost like a group therapy thing. And these worlds are very important because a lot of people get together, and that's their social experience. You know, there are even some of those worlds that are AA meetings. And so I'm really glad they backtracked on eliminating them. And the last thing I did, which was amazing, today a new Star Trek game dropped. And it's called Star Trek Insurrection. A lot of people were naysaying it because it does get hokey. There's supposed to be some kind of zombie apocalypse thing happening on it. But I only played it for about 10 minutes. And you play as this Vulcan who is on this ship, and you have to save the ship. But it was cool. If you look at the last picture, like my last picture in the show notes, it shows his quarters. And I felt like I was on a starship. And that's what I want from VR. I want these interactions where I'm somewhere other than where I am, and I'm doing stuff. You know, you have to kind of figure out stuff. Of course, there's going to be some shooting, but there's also some figuring out things, and then also just being in an atmosphere. There's a point, and not to give too many spoilers, but there's a point in there where you're meditating, and when you meditate, you're transported to a different place. So, it's I think it's going to be interesting. It was expensive. It's $30, but it's on sale for 10% off, which, isn't that much, but it's cheaper than it was. And it came out on my birthday, and it was my birthday treat. So
when in the timeline is it set? Yeah, pre-burn, post-burn?
It's set after the Next Generation and before Deep Space Nine.
So pre-burn.
Yeah. So next week and the next episode, I'll have more to tell you how that goes. So that's been my week. I am having so much fun in No Man's Sky. I'm not doing a lot of the quest lines. I'm just in there building and having fun and enjoying the atmosphere. In fact, sometimes I just sit and look out on the beauty of this planet that I have that I've been working on. I do need to go back and work on some more of the garbage truck thing, because I haven't finished it on all my characters. But I finished it on an April PVD, and I'm having a blast.
That's it. Hanging out with your multiple personalities.
Yeah. So, yeah, with my multiple personalities. All right, so because we have some stuff from Grand Eggers, but we'll talk about that when he's back. Big G, how's your week in gaming?
Oh, like Fortnite in gaming. I basically stayed around, done some more Winnie's Hole, did some more in Spider-Man, and I picked up a new game called Arc Knight Enders, which is basically if you merged Helldivers with female furry anime girl sort of thing. So yeah, it's quite interesting, but yeah, I just started in that game, so I'm basically just down at a tutorial. So it's looking good though, but yeah, definitely looks like a massive time sink. And that's basically been it for my week sort of thing. So, apologies again for the scratchy voice.
Hey, it happens. Well, thank you. But we did get an email from Kep. Would you like to read that?
Oh, guys, I don't know if my
And
voice
it's
holds
always
out.
good to hear about from Kep. He's doing his World of Warcraft thing. And, I've been thinking if they ever make it so that World of Warcraft is in VR, I would definitely come back.
Oh, yeah, so many people wouldn't living their best lives.
Yes. You got it?
Yeah. Good day, all. So I've been doing the usual stuff on Warcraft. Sorry, Cap, if you don't sound like this. Still haven't leveled up anyone to 90 yet. My highest is still 87. I keep getting distracted with other things, like my voice keeps breaking. Like the Siren Isles, where I've been collecting lots of cool new transmogs. Awesome.
Oh, nice, yes.
I've decided it doesn't really matter if I pick a main, because the way the game plays now, you can just switch characters and it's not too impactful. Well, that's awesome. Apart from gearing someone up, which becomes easier the longer the expansion is released. I'm looking forward to purchasing some of the April trading post items. There are some cool and unusual things this month. Also, Noble Garden starts in a week or so. I believe it's approximately marks my 1 year anniversary return to WoW. Congratulations. I am definitely glad that I got the urge to log back in. Time flies. Anyway, hope you all are well and enjoying the game. Take care and happy Easter all. All the best, Cat. I have just been back to the Wandering Isles in Pandaria to do the Heritage Armor quest line. It was so much fun to be back there seeing some of the old sites of the Pandara and Starting Zone. Anyway, here's some screenshots of my new Pandarian Warrior Heritage Armor, and they have screenshots that look awesome.
Yes,
Very
they
samurai-ish.
do. Oh, Oh, thank you, Cap. You look awesome. I'm loving that. Oh my gosh, Noble Garden. Running around like a rabbit, picking up eggs. Oh gosh. I remember spending hours jumping
The
around.
achievements.
Yes, getting the achievements, getting the different things. Wow, that brings back memories.
Trying to shake your moneymaker at people.
Well, that's it for Control Alt WoW No Man's Sky this week. Thank you, Big G, for being here. Shout out to Grand Negus. And we will see you next week. Bye now.
And Big G signing off. Bye.
Technology recharge.